What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Dubinsky TCG, and there is a lot of news that I want to cover with you guys today. So let's go ahead and dive straight into it. The first thing that I want to go over today are the iconic cards in Whispers in the Well Set 10 Disney Lorcana. Now, I made a video about these iconic cards about a week ago, a couple days before they were actually confirmed by Lorcana, and there was some debate in the comments section as to whether or not these were actually iconic cards. And it turns out they were iconic cards. So let's go ahead and take a look at those two cards first. We have our Ariel. She is a 4-drop inkable amber character, 3 strength, 4 willpower, boost for 1. Her effect reads, once during your turn, whenever you play a song, if there's a card under this character, you may draw a card. It's a very powerful effect. I really like that. She quests for 2. I definitely expect to see her getting some play. Now the next iconic card, and the only other iconic card in this set, is Hades. He is a 5-drop inkable, 3 strength, 4 willpower, amethyst character. And his effect reads, when you play this character, you may choose an opposing character. If you do, draw 2 cards unless that character's player puts that card on the bottom of their deck. Now, do I think this is a good card? Yes. Do I think that this is a great card? Not necessarily. And I have a few reasons for that. The first reason is it is not a guaranteed removal. So when you think about the Hades from Sapphire, that is a guaranteed removal. Whenever you play it, it removes a card, no doubt about it. Now you might be saying to yourself, well yeah, if I don't get the removal, I still get to draw 2 cards. And that's very true. But in this new set, there are some drawbacks to having more than 3 cards in your hand, depending on if you're playing the gargoyle characters or not. Now if you're not playing those in a deck built around this character, then it is probably a totally fine card. The only thing that I will say is the drawback of it is not a guaranteed removal. If there's a card on your opponent's field that you are in dire need of getting rid of, you cannot count on this card being the one to do that for you. Now let's check out some of these gargoyle cards. This is the first one that we're going to cover, and his name is Goliath. He is a 6-drop inkable steel character, 6 strength, 5 willpower, and this is the first effect. At the end of each player's turn, if they have more than 2 cards in their hand, they choose and discard cards until they have 2. If they have fewer than 2 cards in their hand, they draw until they have 2. Now that is a great effect. It can be both beneficial to you and your opponent, however, depending on where you're at in the game. With that being said, once we read its secondary effect, you're going to understand exactly why that first effect is going to be so powerful. So let's look at the second effect. If you have 3 or more cards in your hand, this character can't ready. Every gargoyle character is going to have this Stone by Day effect on them. That can be a major drawback when playing gargoyle characters. That is why I was saying earlier with the Hades character, why it could be a drawback if you're playing gargoyle characters and you also have the Hades card. Not only will your opponent be able to say, hey, I don't want you getting rid of my extremely powerful card on my field, but also you have to draw 2 and you can't ready any of your gargoyle characters. That is the main reason why this first effect on this card is so strong. If you're running a gargoyle heavy build, this character is going to be a must for you. You are going to want to have this out on the field. Let's go ahead and take a look at some other gargoyle characters. So we have Demona. She is a gargoyle. She is a 4-drop inkable, 4 strength, 6 willpower, amethyst character. She has Challenger +2, and then she has the Stone by Day feature. If you have 3 or more cards in your hand, this character can't ready. Let's take a look at the next one. Hudson. 2-drop inkable steel character, 2 strength, 4 willpower. His first effect reads, when you play this character, you may draw a card, then choose and discard a card. Pretty basic effect in Disney Lorcana. And then he has the secondary Stone by Day effect. Let's look at one more. We have Lexington. He's a 3-drop inkable steel character, 4 strength, 4 willpower. He has the Stone by Day feature, and he also has a brand new feature named Alert. Alert says this character can challenge as if they had evasive. Now, it doesn't make him an evasive character, meaning that your opponent can still challenge into this character as they would any other normal character. But the difference is if your opponent has a character with evasive on the field, you can now attack that character with this character, just like they would have had evasive. That is something really, really cool, in my opinion, that Disney Lorcana has added to the game. We had seen characters in the past that had a very similar effect to this one, but now there's a name attached to it, Alert. And I'm sure we'll be seeing more of that in the future. There are also a few other cards in Whispers of the Well that have been confirmed that I want to go over in this video too. The first one is the Horn King. Now this one is just a 1-drop amethyst inkable card, 2 strength, 2 willpower, quest for 1, very vanilla. But there is a shift target for it named the Horn King, and you pay 2 to shift on it. It is a 4-drop inkable, 3 strength, 4 willpower amethyst character. And its effect reads, Whenever one of your other characters is banished in a challenge, you may return that card to your hand, then choose and discard a card. And it quests for 2. I think this card is extremely powerful. There have been a lot of Amethyst reveals in this set that look extremely powerful, and there have been a lot of Sapphire reveals in this set that also look extremely powerful. We already know that Blurple is a really good deck, especially in this current format, and I definitely think that we're going to see it being played way more coming up in the next format. And here's another example of a Horn King card. It is a 2-drop inkable, 2-strength, 2 willpower Amethyst character, and he reads, during your turn, if one or more cards have left the player's discard this turn, this character gets +2 lore. That is another extremely powerful effect, especially in this new set. There are a lot of cards that are going to be moving cards from out of the discard, either to the hand, to the deck, to the field. So this card is going to see a lot of play in my opinion. Another card that I want to touch on is Duckworth. It is a 3-drop, uninkable, 3-strength, 1 willpower Amethyst character, and it has the Rush ability. Rush just means that the character can challenge the first turn that it's played. It doesn't have to dry like it normally would. And the effect reads, during your turn, when this character is banished, you may put the top card of your deck face down under one of your other characters or locations with boost. It quests for 2, but that effect is extremely strong, especially if you're running the boost cards, which I'm sure people are going to be playing those. Not only do you get to play the card, rush, and challenge immediately into an opposing character, but you also get to take the top card of your deck and put it under one of your characters that needs boost. I think that you could see this card being held onto a little bit later in the game. If it ends up trading with the other character, that's perfectly fine. I think even if it doesn't kill the other character, that's probably fine. I think this is another extremely strong Amethyst card. And this is going to be the last Amethyst card that I'm going to show you. There's still a lot of really powerful ones, but I don't want this video to be too long, so let's go ahead and take a look at this one. It is Demona. She is a gargoyle character. We were talking about those earlier. She's a 6-drop, inkable, 5-strength, 6 willpower Amethyst character, and her first effect reads, when you play this character, exert all opposing characters. Then each player with fewer than 3 cards in their hand draws until they have 3, and she quests for 2. She also has that Stone by Day feature that I mentioned earlier when it comes to the gargoyle characters. Now, her first effect though, extremely powerful. If you're playing a deck that needs to put a lot of characters down and they don't really want to quest with them early, they don't really want to challenge with them early because they need those cards on the field, you get to drop this thing down, exert all of their characters, draw cards depending on how many you have in your hand, and then challenge into them with some of your other characters. I think that is extremely powerful, especially if you have less than 3 cards. You can draw to 3 and then maybe even ink that turn or play one of those other characters. That way, she can still ready at the start of your next turn. The next thing I want to talk about is this Daisy Duck from Sapphire. She is a 6-drop, inkable, 4-strength, 6 willpower Sapphire character. She shifts for 4, she has support, and her effect reads, while this character is exerted, cards enter opponent's inkwells exerted. That is extremely strong, and you get to shift her on top of a different Daisy Duck. I think this is a really good card for Sapphire. I'm only going to show you one other Sapphire card. This is only a rare card, but I actually think that this card is extremely powerful as well. It is a 3-drop inkable item, Ink Amplifier. Whenever an opponent draws a card during their turn, if it's the second card they've drawn this turn, you may put the top card of your deck into your inkwell face down and exerted. Now, it doesn't really matter that it's exerted because it's on your opponent's turn. The other thing is there are a lot of decks that are going to be drawing multiple cards throughout their turn. This is going to maybe persuade your opponent to not do that. I could see it getting you into some trouble if somebody's trying to deck you out or something like that, but there aren't really a lot of strategies in Disney Lorcana that are based around that, so I don't necessarily see it causing you any problems. I think it is an extremely powerful Sapphire card that'll definitely see some play, at least early on, just to test. Now, there are a ton of other really cool cards that came out in this set, but I'm not going to get to all of them today. I just wanted to go over those few with you so you have an idea of what to expect in the upcoming set. The next thing that I want to talk about has to deal with set 11 and set 12. Now, set 11 is called Winterspell. It's set to pre-release February 13th to local game stores and then fully release on February 20th. Now, if we take a look at the cover art for this set, you can see Stitch and Angel playing in the snow. If we look at the past releases, including Fabled and Whispers in the Well, one would be able to safely assume, in my opinion, that we are going to have a Stitch iconic card or an Angel iconic card, or perhaps both. Just like how in Fabled, Lorcana had the Minnie Mouse and the Mickey Mouse, both of them ended up being iconics. And then in Whispers in the Well, we had the Ariel and the Mickey Mouse. Now, Mickey Mouse didn't become an iconic in this set, but the Ariel did. That gives me reason to believe that at least one of those two characters that we see portrayed on Winterspell will end up becoming iconic cards. Now, the last thing that I want to talk about, and perhaps the most exciting thing to me, is that Pixar movies are coming to Disney Lorcana. We can see that displayed in set 12 with the artwork on the cover. We're going to have Woody and Buzz Lightyear. Both of those cards should be coming to Disney Lorcana, and I can almost guarantee you that we will have an iconic Woody and an iconic Buzz. It only makes sense. Set 12 will be named Wilds Unknown, and it is set to release in the second quarter of 2026. We even know a little bit about the third set that's going to be released in quarter 3 of 2026, and it is named Turning Red, but that is like almost a year out, so I'm not really going to talk about that too much. I'm really excited about Pixar coming. I am a huge Toy Story fan. Obviously, I grew up on it, as I'm sure a lot of you did. I think it would be awesome to have an iconic Woody and an iconic Buzz Lightyear card. I would chase those way more than I chase the Mickey and Minnie Mouse. And maybe some of you would too. Make sure you check my channel wall because I'm posting the winner of the Fabled Trove today. Also, you still have a few days to enter into the Elsa promo card giveaway from one of my other pack openings, so make sure you visit the channel and check out all of my openings. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.